Hi everyone, welcome back to the channel. So in our previous video we have covered a topic called response model. In that we have seen like how we can have different model for different use cases. Like let's say we have a user in model for inputting the input, and then we have another model for response that was user out. And in that model we are not returning the password in the response. So that was the thing. In this video we'll see how we can have more than one related model. So let's get started. So the scenario is like we'll have one model which will be input model uh, to have a password in that model. Okay, we'll have output model that will not have password, and also we'll use one another model which will be like probably need to have a hashed password. Okay, so that will that will be the scenario for this video. Okay, so now here as you can see that they have defined a different model. So this is for inputting, uh, like this is for input. Okay, so in this you as you can see that we have username, password, email, and full name. Okay, and there is one another model which is user out model. In that they have mentioned only username, email, and full name, because this is the model which we are going to return in the response. So that will not uh, contain the password, right? And also we'll use another model which will be store the hashed password in the fields. Okay, so it will have username, hash password, email, and full name. Okay, so this is the thing. So I'll just quickly copy and paste this code. And here I have already opened my VS code, so I'll just quickly paste that code here. So here we have pasted that code, and here what we are doing, uh, I'll just go in this create user function. So here we are taking the user in request model in input, and in response model actually we are returning the user out. Note that we are not returning the model which is user in DB. We are actually returning the user out model, right? So in that model will not have any field, not password, or also will not have that uh, hashed password. Okay, so please note that. And then what we are doing, we are actually calling this fake save user function. In that we are inputting that user in object. Okay, request object, and then it will get called. So this function will get called, and then it is actually generating one fake hashed password for us. So it is taking a raw password in a string, and then it is actually concatenating that password with this super secret string. Okay, and then we'll have our hashed password. So here this is the main thing which you need to understand. Okay, so here what it is doing, actually it is passing that hashed password in that user in object. So first you have to understand this like this. So let me write that here. Okay, so this will be like first we'll have user in object. Okay, then when we'll call this dict function. Okay, so it will actually convert that user in object, which is a Pydantic object, into a dictionary. So then what we are doing, this two star is to unwrap that. So then we'll unwrap that object. Okay, and then we are going to pass that hashed password field in that. Okay, so we are going to actually adding that hashed password field, and we will going to create this user and object. Okay, and then we are just returning that here. Okay, so let me, I'll uh, definitely print this user in object after when we complete this test. Okay, so then you will understand that what is this in this user in object, user in DB object. Okay, so then we are returning that user saved object, and then as you can see we have user out as a response model. So we are not going to return like hashed password in the response. Instead we are going to just return three fields which is in this user out model, that is username, email, and full name. So I'll just quickly run this. So I have already started my server. Okay, so then I'll go back, and then here I'll just go in my documentation page, And here as you can see that we have user in and only user out in schemas. Okay, so I'll just quickly try it out. Okay, so here I will give a string as Raj, and then password I'll just give 123, and I'll keep this email as it is, and then full name I'll just give Raj Parmar. Okay, and then I'll execute this. Okay, so make sure you will click on this execute, and then let's see the output. So as you can see that uh, we have written the code for this user in db object as well to store the password in a hashed format, right? But we are not getting that in a response, right? We are only getting username, email, and full name. But in between we have already executed this code as well. So I'll just quickly paste I'll just quickly print this user in db object. So to do that, I'll just quickly say user in db, and then to print that in a dictionary I'll just say dict. Okay, and here I'll just again that execute I'll again execute it, and then let's see. So as you can see that here we are actually getting that object in a dictionary format. As you can see, it is username hashed password. So we have added 123, and it is appending that super secret string as well. Okay, and we are getting email and full name. Make sure we are not getting password, because in user in db model we are not having password, right? So here we'll only have these four fields. So I hope you understood. So let's go back into our documentation page, and now we'll go ahead. So this is the thing. If you want to read this, then I'll definitely put the link in my description. You can read this as well. Okay, and then what we'll do, so here as you can see that actually we are writing this username, password, email, username, password, email, username, password, email in all the models, right? So we need to do some modification in our code. So to reducing our complexity of code, we'll just use some user based class. So actually we are going to use some user based class here. So as you can see, this is the user based class, and we are going to inherit that class in our separate classes. So in user in we are inheriting, in user out we are inheriting, and in user in db we are inheriting, right? So this is how you can optimize your code. Okay, so this is doing the same thing. If I'll execute that, if I'll refresh that page again, then we'll have the same thing here. So I'll just quickly try it out. So I'll just keep this as it is, and as you can see we are getting the same response, right? But this is the optimized code which we have done, right? So this is how you can do that. So I'll just go back, and here I'll go below. So you can also declare a response to be a union of two types. Okay, so suppose in a response you want to have a different model. Okay, so by using this union operator you can do that. Okay, so if you have python 3.10, then we don't need to use this union operator. So just I'll just copy this code, and I'll just paste this in my VS Code. So as you can see in this response model, we are not returning we are not expecting to return only one model, but instead we can have any of this plain item or char item model in the response. And FastAPI will not give us the error, because if we return any type, then it will automatically say understand that we can return any type of this model. Okay, so that is the thing you have to understand. So I'll just not run that code. Okay, and then if you want to use that in a python 3.10, then instead of that you can just use this uh, pipe symbol here. Okay, so you can just use this, so something like this here. I'll just quickly say this. Okay, something like this you can use. Okay, so that is the thing. Then uh, I'll just go back, and then we'll see list of models topic here. So in response we can also have a list of models. So if we have this item model, and we want to return some response in that we want to have a list of items. Okay, So that also we can do that. So I'll just quickly run this. I'll just quickly copy that, and I'll just quickly paste that here. So as you can see, we have list of items in the response. So I'll just run my code again. So it is already restarted. So I'll just quickly refresh my page, and as you can see, we have this API, and then I'll just quickly try it out. And if I'll execute, then as you can see, in response we have this list, right? We have this objects, two objects, and in that, uh, as you can see, in response we got two objects, like, right, in list. So that is the thing which I wanted to show. And then also, if we don't want to use any Pydantic model, instead we want to manually define the like, let's say we want to define the dictionary, it which contains string as a key and float as a value. Then I'll just quickly copy this, and I'll show you how we can do that. So as you can see, we expecting that in response we will have a dictionary with string as a key and float type as a value. Okay, so as you can see, we are returning this dictionary which has keys with string value and and the values as a float. Okay, float type. So if I'll refresh my page again, uh, and as you can see, that if I'll try it out, then FastAPI will not give us any error. So it will understand that we can have this dictionary kind of format where we'll have string as a keys and float types as a values. Okay, so that is the thing for this topic, right? Also, next I will go in another topic, which is response status code. So in FastAPI, uh, we can also define the status code. Okay, so here I'll just quickly copy this, and I'll just paste that. Okay, if I'll refresh my page here, then I will just run. I'll just click on this, and as you can see, that it is already giving us this in a response part, right? For a successful response, it will give us the 201. So I will try it out. So I'll just give some name. So let's say I'll give Raj, and I'll execute this. So here we are getting 201 response. Okay, in responses you will get that. Okay, in server response we got 201 with the response body. And yeah, that's about that. And also, we can have different types of response status code. Okay, so like, as you can see here, you can also read this. So for 100 and above are for information. Okay, we rarely use them directly. And 200 and above are successful responses. So 200 is default status code, which means everything was okay. And 201 for created, 204 for not no content found. Okay, and also we can have 300 and above for redirection, another thing. Okay, and 400 and above are like, for let's say 404 for not found, we usually use this, right? And also for generic errors we can have 400, and 500 and above are for server errors. Okay, so this is the description of the status code. You can use that. But one thing I wanted to show is like how we can identify that what type of response code we have to use, right? Because in general we don't remember this type of status code, right? So what fast API is providing is we can also have inbuilt uh, status code automatic, like we can see status code here while writing the code. So I'll just quickly import some module which I need to import. So fast API provide status library. So I'll just quickly uh, import that here. So from fast API we'll also going to import this status. Okay, and then let's say I'll just copy this, and I'll just paste that here. Okay, so let's say I'll just remove this for now, and if I'll just click dot here, then as you can see, it is suggesting us this type of status code here. Okay, so I will just quickly select this HTTP 201 status code. Okay, so by default it is suggesting us this type of status code. when we are writing code, right? So that is the cool thing about fast API. Like we can have a suggestion from fast API that what kind of status code you can use. So that's all about this response status code topic as well. I hope you understood. If you did, then please do subscribe my channel. I'll see you in the next video. Till then, keep sharing, keep loving. Bye.